Welcome to the Social Selling Simplified podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Shaw, and I'm a social selling obsessed educator with a passion for health, fitness, and all things marketing and systems. We're all about delivering results producing strategies and getting super clear on how to scale and grow your online business. You're going to learn about all things marketing and see what actually works. It's true that success leaves clues. Take it from one of our very own listeners, Dana, who left this review. Hey, Ashley, honestly, thank you so much for being you and doing what you do. I've loved every minute of this episode. It's really got my brain going and I can't wait to listen to more. I've done your free Done For You 5-day and I purchased the 20 Done For You posts, and I simply cannot say how amazing my interaction with people was when I was using your posts. One day I will have purchased all of what you offer. Thank you again for you. XO, Dana. Dana, thank you so much for this review. If you are loving this podcast, finding yourself motivated to grow your business, or enjoying all the marketing tips, do me a favor and help me spread the message. Leave me a rating or review, and I may just share your message right here on the podcast. Welcome to Social Selling Simplified. I'm your host, Ashley Shaw, and we're diving into how to kill it when launching something brand new. One of the things that is unavoidable is that companies or social media platforms will change. And what's really interesting about that is that the wealth is actually created during a time of unprecedented opportunity. The newest reports reveal the live online fitness market is set to grow from 2.5 to 25.7 billion by 2027, which is an increase of 942%. Obviously, this tells us that we're living in a time of unprecedented change, and that's always when most of the wealth is made. If we look at some examples like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller, they made their fortunes in the industrial revolutions of steel and oil. Jeff Bezos became the richest person in the world through selling products online with Amazon. And now we're seeing the opportunity for selling online services unfold. In fact, the worldwide physical health club market is worth $96.7 billion, but 9 out of 10 Americans are continuing to work out at home despite gyms opening back up after COVID. This puts you in the perfect position to take advantage of the expected growth of the online fitness market from 6.04 billion to 59.23 billion, which is 881% increase. This is also including the live segment growing from 2.47 billion to 25.73 billion, which is 942% increase by 2027. And what's crazy about this is that as new products are coming up and we're launching new things, such as the Mixed Bike, if you are part of Beachbody, or any other product, if you're part of a network marketing company, it's always a massive, massive opportunity. Now, if we're thinking about the opportunity here, we know that the early bird gets the worm. It's those network marketers and direct sellers who are ready to profit from it and are ahead of the game that actually make it this huge opportunity, because the right strategy only comes when you know how to secure this very small piece of this new market. And this will help secure your income for years to come. If you're launching a new product, or maybe you're part of this Beachbody launch with the Mixed Bike, you're probably feeling very, very excited about the body launch and feeling really good, but you don't want to let this opportunity pass you by. And that's what this episode is all about. We're going to be jumping in to why launching is more important than ever. We're going to be talking about why most people actually fail at launching. And then we're going to dive into the key areas you actually need to master during your launch, which is not just TikToks and Reels. So I hope you guys are ready to dive into this topic. It is one of my favorite things to talk about. Launching is never been more important, and it's such an opportunity in your business. So let's first dive into why launching is more important than ever. Well, one of the things that can happen in our business is that it can start to feel stale sometimes. And it's really important to have a plan to reignite your passion in the business, especially when new things come out and rallying to jump into it. People tend to start off excited, but the light eventually goes out. We need to talk about, how do you keep up that momentum? How do you deal with plateaus? And why is it so important to take this launch opportunity seriously? Because there's so much that you can gain from this launch, but also that your customers can gain from this launch. Let's dive into why launching is more important than ever. I want to talk about this in two different areas. The first area would be around why launching is important for you as a business owner. But then I also want to talk in the area of why it's important for your team members as well. Launching is this really unique opportunity to get super excited about something new. And what I love about launching is that you're actually able to speak to your audience in a bit of a different way. Sometimes when we're pitching a product in our messaging, and I don't mean like straight up just talking about the product, I mean, we're talking to pain points. We're talking about reasons why this particular solution may work for certain people, why it's worked for us. Sometimes that doesn't hit with people. And what's happened is either your ideal customer might have changed, or it never really, really resonated with them in the first place. So I think launching is more important than ever, because it gives you an opportunity to speak to your customers about something different and hit different pain points that you might not have hit before. So I'm just going to use the example of the mixed bike and what is coming with Beachbody. But really, guys, this applies to all network marketing businesses. But you're going to see as we start to unpack this, how this can be so useful in your business. So when I think of the new bike coming out and this new partnership and Body Live, I think of all the people that have been displaced by COVID and not fully going back to the gym. I am one of those people. I'm not sure if I really want to go back to the gym. There are certain parts I love about the gym. I grew up in a gym. I love the gym, but there are certain things that now have become an inconvenience, just like, actually having to go to work. I think for a lot of people, they've gotten used to being able to work from home, at least the majority of people. Some people may not like it, but I think a lot of people are like, oh, great, I don't have to commute. I don't have to spend all this extra time, commitment to driving. I can live in different places. Like, there's all these benefits that have come from it. And I think it's the exact same with not having to maybe go to the gym to get a workout in. People are starting to wrap their minds around, wow, this, like, I could really get used to this. I really like this. And one thing that has been a gap in the market, specifically for Beachbody, is they've never been able to necessarily offer that more Peloton-like experience, which a lot of fitness enthusiasts out there are all about, that energy that can come from a spin class and how that feels. And it's been a missing piece in the market. And being able to offer this live experience, it's also been something that has been a gap in the market. So I think what's really interesting about launches is when done right, they identify this gap in the market that you can get so excited about talking about, and that is going to get your customers excited as well. Launching is more important than ever for a number of reasons, but specifically because you can talk to those gaps in the market, because you can talk about something new, and because you can hit some different pain points that maybe you haven't been able to hit before with some of your other products. Now, here's a really cool reason too why you can get your team fired up and focused is maybe they weren't as passionate about some of the other products, but we all know team members that can get excited about something new. Like all of a sudden something clicks. They see that opportunity. They're able to get on board and get super, super excited about it, because that authentic excitement really does translate when you're posting on social media, you're writing emails, you're talking to potential customers. If you're not genuinely excited about it, or something has become stale, it can feel very difficult to get that energy across. So these are all the reasons why you should be so pumped right now that you're able to launch something new. And this is a golden opportunity. So you definitely don't want to miss out on launching whatever product that it may be that is coming your way. We're going to move on now and talk about why most people actually fail at launching. The number one reason why is that I think that most network marketers actually think that launching is just doing the same thing, meaning you're just continuing to post on social media, but you're peppering in some posts about the new product. And I would love to say that that is the strategy, but it definitely is not. When you are launching, you have to do some behind the scenes work to get people prepared for what's coming. So, the number one reason why most people fail at launching and they don't seize this opportunity that can drastically change your income and it can really get your business to take off is they have no idea what that strategy looks like. And they tend to just repeat the old things that they've been doing with just adding a few posts in about the new product. And there is absolutely a strategy behind launching. There are many, many courses out there to teach you how to launch. But the good news is I'm actually going to review a lot of those key elements that you need to master. Now, we're not going to be able to go so in depth that I'm going to be able to speak to directly what the templates are that you want to send out and that you want to use. But I'm really going to give you that foundation, that blueprint for what are the key pieces of a launch so that you can really think about how am I incorporating these, which ones are working, which ones are not. So most people fail at launching because they don't actually have a strategy. They do what they've always done, which means you're always going to get the same results you've always gotten before if that is your strategy and that is your plan. Next, I want to move into the key areas that you need to master during your launch, which is not just your stories and your TikToks and your reels. The first thing that we need to understand is that usually a launch has a runway. You don't just reveal a product and then all of a sudden people are buying it. Ideally, you want to have a 6 to 8 week runway. But if you don't have that this time, that's totally okay. We're going to talk through that. But normally, you do want to have that runway so that you can prepare. Okay, this is what I need to be talking about 6 weeks out to have my ideal customer really prepared for what's coming. It can take that amount of time to really get someone primed. Now, the reason I say you don't want to just use stories and reels and TikToks is that you want to dive deeper and communicate in multiple ways to make sure people get the message. We all know that social media is a very, very noisy place. So it's important that you are on different platforms, which I'm going to talk about in a second. There's 4 main areas you need to master during your launch. Actually, I'm going to say 5. There's 5 main areas. So the first one is to actually plan your launch and have a strategy. In every launch, there's this big idea. This big idea is something that your whole launch is hinging on. So let's take the example of the Beachbody launch for a second. The whole big idea behind it could be you don't have to be waiting to go back to the gym because you're missing out on live classes. Like that could be your big idea that you're going to unveil. It has to hinge upon something really, really exciting so that you can speak directly to that concern in your messaging as you lead up to the launch. You don't want to just wing it and be like, oh, I'm just going to talk about, this new product. It has to hinge on a big idea. So this pre-planning phase is really important to get your head wrapped around. And if this is something that you guys struggle with, or you've never seen templates before on this, definitely throw that in the comments, because if people are struggling with this, I definitely want to help you guys out and create something that I usually use to help plan my launches. So let me know in the comments, do you need help with pre-planning? Because this is something we can definitely put together a freebie for you guys and help out with. After you've done your pre-planning phase, you next want to move into your social media posts and your stories, like reels. And I'm going to be really honest with you guys. Some people really thrive at creating reels and creating TikToks. For me, it is very, very time consuming. It's not something that I am a huge fan of personally in my own business. I'm cool with stories and I'm cool with posting. That is where I spend the majority of my time. So I don't know. Some of you out there may be like, oh no, I love reels. They're so fun. I love TikToks. For me and the current state of my mom life right now, it's just not something that I invest a ton of time into. I love stories. And I think that with a combination of posts and stories, you can really make sure to get your message across. So with social media, it's all about priming. And where we talk about you want that 6 to 8 week runway, you're starting to do a couple of key things during those weeks. Now, if you have one of our done for you plans, we bake this in so you don't have to think about it. But what we're doing is 4 weeks leading out to your launch, we're actually challenging this limiting belief they have. So, for example, I have to go to the gym to get that live experience. Maybe that is the limiting belief. Then you're going to expand in the next week, which is if you remove that idea that you have to go to the gym, how does your life change when you start thinking about, oh, I could do live classes at home? How does that change things? Next, you're going to answer any frequently asked questions. You're going to share testimonials, that sort of idea. And then you're going to have your call to action to join you. So those are the phases that we work through before a launch. And you'll see in our social media posts, in my stories, like that's what I really like to do is think about those themes for that week and put that out there. So that's how I use social media leading up to a launch. Then I also have a free Facebook group. The benefit of this, you may be like, well, why would I have a Facebook group and social media posts? Well, it's another place that people will see your message. And we all know it takes 6 times for someone to actually see something to take action. We know that the Facebook algorithm is just like, I feel like every time I talk about it with any social media expert, we keep talking about how less and less our posts are seen and how it's more and more important that Facebook wants you to pay to play. So having a free Facebook group is another way to get your message seen without having to pay. You can post in social media on your, post stories, reels, whatever you're doing there. But then in addition to that, make sure that you're talking about it in your free Facebook group. You're going live and it's the same idea. You're using the same themes and you're talking about it during those weeks leading up to in your free Facebook group. Next is one of my favorites, email. I'm telling you, the return on investment on email is absolutely insane. The open rate on email is on average 20%. So you go from 1 to 2% of your audience seeing your post to actually 20% of people seeing your message when you switch to email. And I don't mean switch as in you stop doing social media. I'm just saying do them all because you can repurpose that message. Or again, if you're in the done for you posts plan, if you're a part of our membership, you're already getting these emails. So it's just as easy to, copy that over and send it out. But again, this is like a behind the scenes, the strategy we put together. So in our emails, we're sending out a consistent message with what they're seeing on social. You're just upping this opportunity for them to actually see that message. So email is super important. For every email you have, they say it's worth $5 in return in sales. So keep on building that email list and make sure to use email as part of your strategy. The last thing is drive them to take action. You want to be always leading them to the next step. So a marketing message falls flat if you don't have that next step or that next intention in mind. So definitely make sure to always be laying out what is the next step. In your emails, is the next step that you want to hop on a call with them? Is it that you want them to join your challenge group? Like lay it out for them, make sure it's super, super clear. And that is definitely going to help you capitalize on this launch. If you are launching a new product and you feel like you could use some strategy and some help, I definitely want you to check out our private strategy sessions. This is something that I have helped so many entrepreneurs with, and it's a huge opportunity for you to grow your business with this product launch. And they don't always come around that often. So if you want to make sure that you get it right, definitely check out the private strategy sessions with Ashley, myself, and Ashley is in I am Ashley, and my husband, Bill. And we will help you get set up with that roadmap for success. So we're going to link that into the show notes there for you. So thank you guys so much for listening today. I really, really hope this was helpful for you. And we'll see you next time on Social Selling Simplified. Hey, Beachbody Coach, if you're pumped and ready to take full advantage of new opportunities, you know the vital importance of having a launch strategy. Passion is important, but being prepared and creating a successful strategy can take hours of hard work. Beachbody's new live classes are going to be a game changer for your business, and we were ready. Our team did all the social media strategy work for you and created an entire month of post templates expertly designed to take full advantage of this exciting change. Don't let this opportunity for growth pass you by because you guessed and stressed and flew by the seat of your pants. The work has already been done for you by expert copywriters. All you have to do is follow the step-by-step instructions that show you how to tweak each post to be true to you. Head over to ashleyshaw.ca/rockyourbody. Download and follow the easy instructions that show you how to tweak each post to be true to you. Then you're done. That's ashleyshaw.ca/rockyourbody.